EPA crews will spend far less time cleaning up the illegal Reedley lab than they planned for. The team arrived on Monday to begin removing hazardous materials and continued that work today. Action News reporter Kate Nemmerich is outside the lab with the updated timeline and the steps that still need to be taken. Kate.
Vanessa, initially the EPA planned to be here for 2 weeks. Now they expect to be finished up by tomorrow afternoon. Even after they leave, there is still plenty of work that needs to be done and decisions need to be made about the future of the site. Moving trucks sat in front of the former illegal biolab in Reedley as teams packed them with chemicals from inside that need to be removed and destroyed. Most of the work is being done on the right side of the building, where in December 2022, authorities found blood samples, nearly 1,000 mice, and misbranded medical devices inside the building. According to City Manager Nicole Ziba, there have been no surprises for the EPA team, so the work is going quicker than expected.
All of the lab chemicals that the EPA has found have been very customary, standard lab chemicals, reagents, things of that nature. Nothing hazardous, nothing that they would be alerted to as unusual. And so that's helped the cleanup go a lot faster than we expected.
The EPA is now scheduled to complete its portion of the cleanup on Thursday, but there is still the matter of medical devices that must be dealt with. Reedley Code Enforcement Officer Jesslyn Harper, who discovered the illegal lab, says those devices will be destroyed on site, but there are more steps to be taken by the Attorney General before that can be done.
They're stating that these devices are not fit to be out for consumer use, so they are not allowed to be removed from the facility. They have to remain here until an officer from the FDB can come and sign off verifying that they witnessed them being destroyed.
Harper hopes the State Food and Drug Branch can witness that destruction next month. After that, the city will work with the property owner to either get the building up to code or demolish it. Meanwhile, the man accused of operating the lab, David Herr, also known as J. Bijou, is facing federal charges. The government alleges that Herr adulterated and misbranded medical devices and that he lied to federal investigators. His lawyer, Tony Capozzi, says they have not been able to access the lab and that he would have liked to go inside the warehouse with federal investigators this week. He's calling the operation an illegal seizure and destruction of evidence.
Our position is the evidence that was presented to the court was not enough to show that there was any violations for them to go in and destroy the evidence, take the equipment, and close down the lab.
Capozzi says they filed claims to sue against the city of Reedley and the county of Fresno in the next couple of months. Herr was due to appear in court on Wednesday, but that was delayed until January 24th to provide more time for his legal team to review evidence and for the government to provide more evidence. Capozzi hopes to set the case for a jury trial date at that time. Reedley city leaders didn't want to comment on the status of the trial and say they haven't been attending hearings in case they're asked to testify. Their hope is this case will lead to national laws and regulations that prevent labs like this one from opening up in other cities across the nation. In Reedley, I'm Kate Nemmerich, ABC 30 Action News.